Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly Waltrich, CEO and co-founder of Intentionally. Welcome to the Don't Do That podcast. This show is no fluff and no BS, just smart advice to help you learn from the best and level up faster. And today, we've got something special, a compilation episode bringing together incredible wisdom from leaders who know exactly what not to do. These are their best Don't Do That moments. Let's dive in.
Adam Holt, Asset Map.
Advisors are not really addressing the real customer pain point. They're not doing it. And I see it again and again. And I've been a product of also not always listening to what the customer wanted, but rather what I wanted to deliver as a business owner. And I think we're going to have a major reckoning. And I think this is really applicable for every business owner. Are we asking our clients what they really, really want? I know why you showed up at this meeting, at this endeavor, why you've hired me, but what's the real core of how I help you get what you really want? And financial services has been really kind of classic, right? We believe that everybody wants an asset allocation model and a retirement burn down of confidence. Maybe some other insurance stuff, maybe some tax stuff, and we deliver that value. I don't think that's really what clients are asking for. Not the ones that are going to stick with us long term, not the ones that are looking for 20-year relationships.
Clarke, Orion.
What we are not doing today as an industry is using AI to augment the advisor-client journey. There's so much more that we can do to leverage AI to add scale to our businesses, to help advisors serve more households, help clients in a way that they will best understand. So AI is being used today, I think, for meeting notes or action items and next steps. But there's so much more that AI can do to help advisors communicate with their clients in a way that the client, from a behavioral perspective, will best respond to, best understand, and really help the advisor meet the client where they are.
Ainslie Simmonds, BNY Pershing.
You know what I'm not doing? I'm never hiring a brilliant jerk.
And they are poison.
They're poison. They do terrible things. I'm never, and when I do, because sometimes they slip in, because they're so sparkly.
Yes.
I have to say to myself, Ainslie, for God's love, you get them out.
Oh my gosh.
Stop it. Don't do that.
Oh my gosh.
Don't do that. Don't hire them. Don't keep them. Don't let them in. And when you do, when they sneak in, get them out.
Quick. Get them out quick.
Schembra, 747.
Kids, don't worry about people knowing you. Make yourself worth knowing. Chasing accolade or chasing achievement for achievement's sake, or paying for a PR hit, or paying to hit a bestseller list, or paying for whatever will never get you as far nor be as fulfilling as just putting your head down through hard times and doing the work.
David Wood, Gateway Financial Partners.
We're not going it alone. We're seeing this scale of the advisors and the firms that are recognizing that they can't do everything. Again, why are we using intentionally? It's because we can't do everything alone. And the cool part about it is the bigger you scale, the more you have the ability to invest in resources like intentionally. I couldn't have done that 10 years ago. Today, I can. So this scale is leading to, I think, a bigger differentiator between the folks that are really successful in the industry and the folks that are struggling and are going to continue to struggle more because of all this change. So I think the scale is really important.
Billy Hopkins, Silver Oak Securities.
That's just as an entrepreneur, what you don't do is just either hold on to things too long or fight the opportunity to expand your sphere. People were buying you. They bought us. These employees bought us. You know, they knew that they weren't ready. What they saw was an exciting little group of people that wanted to grow, and they focused on that as opposed to the things that we weren't. What we're not doing is thinking small.
John Wernz, Great Hill Partners.
The don't do that I've done is getting caught up in inorganic growth over organic growth. The inorganic market is so exciting, and doing acquisitions and bringing firms on and the spreadsheet math of that. I mean, it's really a seductive thing, right? I mean, it's easy to feel the pressure internally driven, not from even outside forces like, oh, I got to do this deal because then we're X and then we have this and then we have this. The reason why I'm not saying don't do inorganic, of course, like I think it's a wonderful thing, but I do see many firms doing it either at the cost of organic synergy or before building out organic. The truth is, don't do inorganic at the cost of future or current organic. And a lot of firms actually are doing that right now.
Marwa Zakharia, MZ Global Consulting.
I don't come in it from hey, here's what you're doing wrong. Like, nobody wants to be told what they're doing wrong, right? You know, and I do it on a daily basis, have the conversation with myself, and then I annoy myself. Like, nobody wants to hear about what they're doing wrong. Here's how we can do things different, right? And take yourself out of the things. Listen, you built a phenomenal rocket. That doesn't mean you need to be the one flying it. That is my mantra in life. You know, there are phenomenal founders out there that do a great job. They don't want the CEO role. They don't want to have to manage and be operational and be strategic and tactical at the same time. They want to build, they want to execute, and that is perfectly fine.
Heather Fortner, SignatureFD.
Today,
oh my gosh,
what we are not going to do is we are not going to collect all the head trash that everybody else is laying down. Over the course of my career, I've had a tendency to be one of those people and internalizing all of those things that were head trash that ended up taking up space in my head, in my life, in what I believed about myself, in who I felt like I was. And the reality was that trash, one, it's trash, and two, it's not even my trash. And yet I was picking it up and owning it like it was. And so we're just going to be done. We're going to get off the side of the road. We're going to take off the little crossbody bag. We're going to lay down the little picker-upper tool. And we're just going to stop collecting other people's trash because it is not ours to own.
Jason Mirabella, intentionally.
Get people involved early. Stakeholders should be part of the build. Leadership should not be dictating mission-critical initiatives down to the team, because what that does is you're wanting to create raving fans that feel like they're part of the build so that they will then adopt the solution. If you're dictating it, they may become adversarial to this solution, and it's very difficult to affect change in those type of environments. I view initiatives as an opportunity to both improve and weaken culture.
Randy Lambert, intentionally.
Doing the parent thing, like, hey, mom said this, dad said that, so the CEO said that, the board said that. Don't do that. It is so lame. Bring data with you, bring facts with you, and that is how you lead up and help bring the leadership along so they don't have to get their ego hurt, and they can then, come down and go, okay, yeah, the facts do show that I do agree. And maybe they won't agree with you. Like, it's tough luck.
Jack Sharry, SEI LifeYield.
Most people don't listen. So instead of listening, what most people do is impatiently wait for their turn to talk, or more often interrupt, anxious to share their next brilliant thought. So my don't do that is don't do that. Stop waiting for your turn to talk. Listen. So I'm a big fan of David Brooks, who's a New York Times columnist, and he wrote a recent book called How to Know a Person, The Art of Seeing Others Deeply and Deeply Being Seen, and Being Deeply Seen. So as he describes it, you want to listen so hard, you burn calories. That's how hard he's recommending you listen.
Brian Portnoy, Shaping Wealth.
We are not buying into the belief that the best idea wins. We are not buying into the belief that the work speaks for itself. The positive perspective on it is that sales matter, and that in life, there's a sales component to everything, whether it's work or creation or love. Best ideas don't always win. The catchy phrase doesn't always win, that it's got to connect with others.
Penny Phillips, Journey Strategic Wealth.
Don't listen to too many people. I mean, sometimes I say don't listen to anyone. And I have said that, I've posted it, but I'll say don't listen to too many people because you got to listen to some people sometimes. But that's my don't do. And it's a really, really important one. It is almost impossible to develop your own instinct, judgment, and overcome imposter syndrome totally, which I don't think you ever can, if you are basing your own decisions, confidence, and your own opinions on what others are saying to you. In other words, if you are somebody that cannot make a decision or have a conviction or an opinion without polling 5 different people in your life, collecting all that information, and then going with the one that doesn't disappoint those people, that is a recipe for, I won't say failure, but continued anxiety, and you will never step fully into your own power or even discover what you're capable of.
Chris Shuba, Helios.
The secret to success is very easy, and that is you find a problem and you solve it.
Right.
The bigger the problem you solve, the more success you get. And success can be anything, right? Doesn't have to be money, doesn't have to be, power, whatever you want to call it. But that's not the rest of the story. The second part of that is that you have to love the problem, not your solution.
Yep.
Because the problem is going to keep changing.
Right.
And when you have a vision generally is linked to solving a problem. And what I've found happens is that when you assemble a team and you tackle that problem, your team is very likely going to fall in love with their solution. And your vision is falling in love with the problem. And that's the disconnect. It's not that they're wrong. It's not that you're wrong. It's that you're looking at two different things. And as a leader and someone who's, captaining this ship, hopefully not drifting out to sea, is being strong enough and communicative enough with your team when you're seeing the problem change and bringing them along to see that their solution needs to change too.
Sara Baker, Allworth Financial.
I used to, at the end of the week, I would feel so much guilt over I didn't spend enough time with my kids. I didn't spend enough time with my spouse, or I go on vacation and I gave nothing to work. I checked out. And now I don't do that anymore. Now I'm much more patient. I have a much broader perspective. And now I look at more year timeframes. So I look back at the end of the year, I'm like, did I have balance? Did I give everything I have to my spouse, to my kids, to my family, to my work, to my friends, instead of these week increments? Because you're going to fail. You can't give 100% to all of those areas in every week.
Joel Bruckenstein, T3 Technology Tools for Today.
The biggest don't do that for folks who are starting or running a firm is don't believe that you know everything and that you're a master of everything, because you're not. And so at the beginning, when I started my RIA firm years ago, I tried to do everything, right? I tried to be my own technology consultant. I tried to be my own marketing consultant. I tried to be my own business consultant. If you want to be great, you need to have people who are great in all of those areas. So you have to pick your spots. You have to decide what you're going to specialize in, devote your time to what you're really good at, and what you're not good at, you have to outsource to somebody who is good at it, or you have to hire people to do it for you.
Mark Gilbert, Zox.
The biggest one for us is it's essentially selling and marketing. Like, we got into a situation very quickly where, any good product person does product research, chats with people, does all this stuff. We got a ton of good feedback. And so we had a ton of people who were like, yeah, I'll try it. This is great. And because of that, we were just like, great, we have people trying it. Like, this is fun. And, for a product person, having people use your product is great.
Yes.
But because of that, we delayed probably for 9 to 12 months, like truly marketing and selling. Like, first of all, that's it. Like, marketing, as you know, Kelly, is a skill, right? Like, it takes time to learn. It takes time to do well. And you realize like everyone's just super busy and you really want to get them the right information, not too much information, but the right information at the right time. And for me, that's like kind of the magic of marketing, right? Like, right when someone's thinking about it, they hear exactly what's relevant to them, all the way through to like opening up the product, seeing the first demo and using it. That should just feel like a big flow.
Jamie Hopkins, WSFS Bank.
Don't compare yourself to averages. Averages are pretty useless when it comes to your situation. So average life expectancy, if you plan to that, half the time you're going to live longer than that. That's not a super great plan. And I really never applied that to the business side for a long time. And then one day I was like, we use a lot of averages. We look at our data and our pitch books. I've told my team here too, like, I don't want to compare ourselves to averages. I want to know who the best, like, who's doing this the best. Like, that's who we want to compare ourselves to. Like, it's much better to say, like, who's that best in class that you want to compare yourself to and go after that. I think the other thing too is, like, if you always are focused on average, you're going to return average.
Jason Early, Riser.
Bad news doesn't get better with time. We at Riser have one of our core values is, and I stole this from a woman named Claire Hughes Johnson, I believe. She has a saying that she says, say the thing that you think you cannot say. And so we all have these moments in our, certainly in our teams, in our business life, in our relationships at home or whatever, where there is something that you're feeling that you are not saying. You are scared to death to say it.
Yeah.
When you muster up the courage to say whatever it is that you're thinking, those lead to a lot of breakthrough moments. And so oftentimes they lead you into really incredible and powerful conversations with team members, whoever it might be. And so we work really hard to say those things and not sit on them, because oftentimes sitting on them can lead to resentments or all sorts of things that you don't want to have happen. And so I've learned that lesson way too many times by not saying it. And so we work really hard at that.
Adrian Johnstone, Practify.
You get so much pressure to make decisions all the time.
Yeah.
You're a senior role and you've got to do that thinking. And so one don't is assume that you have to wear all that on your own shoulders. Like, surround yourself with people within your business, outside of your business, and consult widely. Don't feel like you've got to do it. But the flip side is, don't then be paralyzed to make a decision that runs contrarian to everybody else's advice, because that's why you're there.
Right.
Your responsibility is to consult widely and to take in lots of input and to do that. But you're in the seat because you're there to make the decision. And that may be to swim against the tide.
Right.
And that won't always be popular. And don't be frightened to go your own way if you really, truly believe that that's the right thing to do.
Molly McClure, IntelliFlow.
We are not going to hire experts and then not trust them to do what they do best.
Ooh, yeah. I like it. All right. Tell me more.
And that can go a couple different ways. I think, especially in marketing, the first way, the most obvious, is no one wants to work for a micromanager. I love hiring people that are better at me than certain things. I love it. It's honestly one of the most freeing and success-driving things of being a leader is find someone who's better at something critical than you are. And I can say that about my team, hands down.
What we're not doing today is we are not hiring amazing talent and then telling them how to do their jobs. I think that that's a lesson that goes far beyond marketing, that goes far beyond wealth management, and is a reminder to all leaders out there that we all can learn something from the people on our teams, no matter what level they are. That's a wrap on our Best of Don't Do That compilation. Each of these leaders has shared wisdom that challenges us to think differently and lead with intention. Thank you for listening and for realizing that sometimes the question to ask is, what are we not doing today?
Thanks so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to be notified when new episodes become available. And please consider giving us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. This podcast is sponsored by Intentionally, a financial services growth engine design consultancy and agency. If you want to learn more, please email me at kelly@growintentionally.com. Thank you again for listening, and check back to hear what we're not doing next.
The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of Kelly Waltrich. The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only.